Alright guys, I'm gonna RoadRashRenegade here. I'm gonna do a video on how I ended up with the GS 500, and it's an interesting story because if you want a bike, you don't have a lot of money, it's not impossible, guys. It is possible because I make like minimum wage pretty much, and I never thought I'd be able to get a bike, and now I have this one, and I've been riding it for almost 2 years, so that it's possible. And this is how it happened. My buddy got a bike. He got it on eBay. It was like a 83 or 82 Virago, and he got it for a good deal on eBay. He drove like 3-4 hours to go pick it up, and I think he paid like $1,000 for it. And he had a bike, so I started looking on eBay, and there was this bike. It was a Honda Magna. It was an 84 Honda Magna 750 or 83 750. And I did some research on them. I found out they were hot little bikes back in the day, one of the fastest bikes they ever made. It looks like a cruiser. I really wanted a cruiser. My buddy had a cruiser, and I just always wanted a Harley or cruiser or whatever. And so anyway, back on topic, I started looking on eBay, and I found a Magna. And when I saw the auction, it was about $300 probably. That's what it was at, $350. And I was like, score! I could, because this was July, and if you get paid every 2 weeks like I do, you can every now and then there's a month where you get paid 3 times. It just works out where you get paid 3 times. Like once at the first of the month, once in the middle, and then once at the end. And it was July, and it happened to be one of those times where I got paid 3 times. And so the first 2 paychecks took care of all my bills that I budget. And so I just had an extra like $500 or whatever my paycheck was. I think it was $450 or $500, whatever. And this bike the auction was ending the next day, so I was like, cool, I might have enough money to get it if it doesn't go up too high. So the next day I sit there, I don't bid till the end, and it jumped about $300, and I ended up getting it for $680. So I had a Honda Magna for $680. I drove the hour to where it was. I picked it up, brought it home, and it ran, but it had a problem. One of the carbs down here, whenever it would run, would leak gas. The gas would like come out of it, and I was going to rebuild the carbs because they told me that would fix it, all my mechanic buddies. And I started looking, wasn't that much to do that, and I was like, well, let me just list it and see if I can make some money on it. And I listed it for $13.50 because I wanted to keep it so bad. I listed it kind of high, and I got calls on it, and a guy came and he bought it from me for $12.75 is what we agreed on. So bam, I went from $680 to $12.75 in about 2 weeks. And so I was like, well, that's kind of cool, So then like 2 days later, I found a 86 Shadow 1100. It was listed for $12, and I went and looked at it, and I talked him down to $9 because he didn't ride it. It wasn't even registered, and he just wanted to get rid of it. He wanted the money, so I got it for $9, and that was on a Saturday. Listed it on Craigslist, sold it the very next Saturday for $2,100. And that guy, he really wanted it bad. That's the bike he had when he was younger, and he just wanted that bike. And it was a nice bike, and it ran really good. But I never got to ride it. I never got to ride the Magna either. I didn't even have a motorcycle license, so I didn't want to get a ticket, because I heard if you get a ticket that they won't let you get a license for like a year or 2. So then I had $2,100 out of this original 680, and 2 days later I found a Yamaha V-Star, a 2000 model, for $1,600, and it was sharp. It was a nice looking bike. I went and got it. In fact, I got up at 3 in the morning. I drove 4 hours. Hey, speaking of that may not be a Magna. But anyway, I drove 4 hours, got there at 7 in the morning because he said, you got to be at 7 because someone else is coming at 8. So I drove all night, picked up that V-Star, and I listed it, and about 3 days later sold it for $25. I listed it for $29 because I wanted to keep it too. 3 days later I sold it for 25. So then I had 2,500 bucks. I got this one for 1900, and the only thing I've done to it is I put these fairings on there, which cost me 75 bucks. And I've actually sold this one. I had it for 2 years and I sold it, and the guy, he gave me half the money, and then he's like, I'll pay you the other half within the next month. And I still have it. It's been about 7 weeks, and he has given me a little bit more money, but you know, it's my buddy, it's a friend of mine, and I feel like I'm doing him a favor to do. I could have probably just could have sold it outright for cash, but I feel like I'm doing him a favor a little bit. So anyway, and whenever I sell this one, I'm just gonna, I don't really need to sell it. Like, I like it, it's a good bike, I don't need to sell it, but I just want to get something different, maybe a 600, something like that, something a little bigger. So anyway, that's how I ended up with a bike for not very much money.